All right. Good evening, VV Nation. My name is Ryan. Welcome to the channel, especially if this is your first time. Today's going to be Nvidia. So what else would you expect me to talk about, right? Nvidia's earnings. Now, I do record this video in the morning. It's pre-market right now. The futures are down ever so slightly. I think the market's just getting a little bit, little jitters before Nvidia's earnings. I was looking at some of the option data. We're looking at a 9% swing. So I'm not gonna guess, what's gonna happen, because by the time you watch this video, it's already happened. So I'm gonna take a look at those 9% levels, see where they're at on a chart. And in tonight's presentation, I've got nothing but Nvidia ETFs. I've got ETFs on semiconductors, QQQ, leveraged ETFs, ETFs just focus on Nvidia itself, whether it's 1.5, 2 times leverage. So if you like Nvidia and you like what you saw, when it comes to the earnings call, I've got a lot of bullish ETFs and I've got some bearish ETFs if you're holding a lot of Nvidia and you need to protect this position. So if this is something that you're interested in, stick around, because I'm not going to try to guess what's going to happen with Nvidia's earnings call, but I am going to show you how we can manage this position if several situations were to occur. Now let's get started. Now we're going to start off tonight's presentation with the ETFs that track Nvidia, or large popular ETFs that follow the space in general with large Nvidia holdings. Now, as far as, being bullish or bearish on the position, you saw my video last week. Glenn came out with a video last night giving our opinions. I'm pretty optimistic about Nvidia's earnings overall. My only concern is really, the Blackwell delays, guidance. There's huge expectations by the market when it comes to their earnings per share. So any misses there could be potential problems, but overall, really bullish on the stock in general. Now, as we take a look at these ETFs here, there's quite a few. We've got 9 in the list right now. Now, NVD, if I move the symbol over, we got NVDU. This is 1.5 times leverage. So if you want to leverage your position slightly more, this is a great ETF to look at here. It does have a direct correlation with Nvidia. Now, NVDX, this is 2 times leverage, and at no surprise, both of these positions do have buy ratings here. So if you want to get a little more bang for your buck with Nvidia, and looking at the price here, we got $109 and $16, so clearly cheaper than just buying the regular Nvidia stock if you're working on a lower budget. We also have QQQ here. This is the NASDAQ 100. Nvidia is one of the largest holdings of that. So if you want to play it safe and have some exposure to Nvidia, but yet get 99 other great stocks, some of the largest companies throughout the US, this is a great ETF to have on your radar if you don't already know about it. Now, we do have the yield max here, NVDY. I'm going to say this outright. Me and Glenn both do not like this. It does not have a direct correlation with price action to Nvidia. So from a chart perspective, I'm not a fan, so I'm going to delete this one here. So if you do have NVDY, that's, a personal decision, but obviously me and Glenn, we've talked about this. We don't like this ETF, so I just wanted to put it in the list here and give you fair warning. So I'm going to delete that. Again, that's NVDY. Now, as we take a look at some of these others, SMH, this is the VanEck semiconductor space. Broadcom is the largest holding. The second largest holding is Nvidia. So if you want exposure, to great AI stocks, and again, a large component of that is Nvidia, this is a wonderful ETF to try out. It does have a hold rating. It's not leveraged, so it's not going to give you as much bang for your buck, but you don't have to worry about some of that price volatility as well. Now, just below that, we have SOXL and SOXS. If you're more aggressive in nature and you can withstand some volatility, this is how you play the semiconductor space as a whole. Nvidia's large holdings in both of these positions here. I've got the long semiconductors, so if you're bullish and Nvidia's earnings seem phenomenal, this is a great way to leverage. And to the adverse effect, if Nvidia's earnings did not pan out so well, SOXS, this is a great way to leverage, an existing Nvidia position, or just be bearish on the space in general. Both of these do look at the semiconductors, so top companies like AMD, Broadcom, Intel, Supermicro, they're all going to be in these ETFs. So depending on what the space is doing, you can either be bullish or bearish and leverage it 3 times. Now, for my bears watching this, I've got NVDS. This leverages Nvidia 1.25 as well. I got NVD, which will leverage it 2 times to the downside. You can get a clear understanding from the recommendation itself that Nvidia is clearly moving in a bullish manner right now. The bullish ETFs at the top of the list, buy ratings giving here. The semiconductor space in general, we got mostly holds here. And we do have SOXL, the triple leverage long, does have a sell recommendation right now. But again, Nvidia is only one stock in this space. Next up, we have SOXL and SOXS, which are the triple leverage ETFs. Mixed ratings here. The long has a sell rating. The short or the bearish ETF has a hold rating here. So some indecision in the space in general. But as far as the bears, they've got 2 sell ratings here for the bearish ETFs, relative timing well below 1. All right, now this is what we all want to discuss, and that's going to be Nvidia's stock chart. So let's take a look here. You can see we're currently trading at $128.42. Right now, we're about 20 minutes before the open. We can see the moving averages all in our favor right now. That's not my concern. You see these blue lines here, you're probably asking yourself, well, what are these lines? They're kind of in random spots. Well, I did look at the option information. We're looking at about a 9% swing when it comes to the expected volatility from the earnings. So I put lines here, 9% to the upside brings us about 139.79, and 9% to the downside is going to bring about $117. Now, no surprise, these lines are at key levels here. The one at the top is right at the high here in the zone of $140.76. So if we do get a gap up right at this level here, I'd like to see price take out the prior high to get some kind of confirmation before loading up on any more Nvidia shares. Otherwise, if we do get a gap up and a rejection at this level, we could see a potential for a double top formation here. But in all honesty, if we get a big gap up to the upside, and earnings call was phenomenal, earnings beat, forecasted data, Blackwell delays are a thing of the past, well, then I could definitely see Nvidia hitting new highs. And that was actually the title of the video I put out last week, and the situation I believe that's going to occur. Otherwise, the other situation would be the gap down situation. If we look at 9% to the downside, we got $117. See this red dotted line here? I'm $1 off in the same zone. You see level support here. So really from about 119 to 117, if we get a gap down, that's the level where I could see price action trying to find a level of support and buyers coming in to scoop up Nvidia shares. You can see what happened on the last dip when the price of the stock dipped below into the 90s, even below our valuation. I did put our value heat line here at $112. I've said it multiple times. If you bought Nvidia when it was undervalued on this dip to the downside, I'm not mad at it. Definitely not. We can see value still on the climb here. We value the stock at $112 right now. On the video last week, someone did put a comment about this being a target price. This is not a target price. This is just what we feel that the company is worth. Now, Nvidia being the main AI play, there's a lot of hype. Investors are willing to pay a premium for this position. And if I scroll back historically, you can see that investors pay a premium for the stock. But look, every time price action touches this value line, what happens? Investors realize that there is a phenomenal deal out there on a stock called Nvidia. They come in and buy it up, and they're buying the dip, right? So if Nvidia does drop to the downside, well, I'm expecting another buy the dip mentality. So if you're holding Nvidia and you see it drop tomorrow, selling it, not my biggest concern in the near future. But if price action drops much below this 117 level, I would be concerned about that. My next level support would come in right at the top of this consolidation line around 108. And if price action drops down there and below our value line once again, don't come asking me why you didn't buy it, right? I'm telling you right now, if Nvidia is below the valuation, and I will even say this, if Nvidia dips below our valuation again, I will buy some shares personally. I don't own Nvidia. I actually am looking at options on ARM to play today, just because the option implied volatility. The options are expensive for the buyers on Nvidia, and I don't have 100 shares of Nvidia to start selling options. All right, everybody. Hope this information is able to keep you on the right side when it comes to your Nvidia trade. Good luck on earnings. I'm sure all of us want the earnings to be good. A lot of us are holding Nvidia. Like I said, I'm thinking about buying it myself, especially if it approaches valuation. Now, if you think the valuation can add some real value, for lack of better terms, to your portfolio, make sure you check out our trial. We're actually offering right now a Labor Day special for just 99 cents. So check it out. The link I'll put in the description down below. If you like the video, make sure you hit that subscribe button, like the content, share it amongst your social circles so that way others can be profitable in the market as well. You guys have a good night.
Hey VV Nation, knowledge is power. And I wish that when I started investing in the market that someone would have impressed upon me just how important knowledge is when investing in the stock market. Well, VectorVest is giving you that opportunity to take advantage of world-class information and courses at a reduced price at the end of the summer. Folks, if you go to www.vectorvest.com/sale, you will gain access to some of the best knowledge out there to help you to make better decisions in the stock market. Folks, again, knowledge is power, and this is your opportunity to take your investing to the next level.